Hello my wonderful friends, and welcome to another video. Now, if you're wondering, why do I sound like this? Why does she sound like she's snuffy and sick? Well, it is because I am recovering from the flu. I have another video I'm actually working on right now that I got sick in the middle of it. I don't know if that video is going to see the light of day, but if in case you're wondering, yes, I am recovering from the flu. I'm on the back end of it, so I feel fine. It's just my nose and a cough now. But I still wanted to make this video because it is already the end of January, which, how is it already the end of January? And also, why has there been snow on the ground for most of this month? So like any other booktuber, I'm gonna do my January wrap up and then we're gonna pick my February TBR. Now, I am not really a TBR person. I've tried being a TBR person. It just hasn't worked out for me. And I think it hasn't worked out for me because I'm such a mood reader. Mood reading is really my specialty. But I really want to try because I got these reading roulette cards. They're by Pibby Post, which I love Pibby Post. I own so many things by Pibby Post. So I got these and I really wanted to try them out. So we're just gonna see how this goes. All right, but first the January wrap up. I'm gonna go in order from what I first finished in the month to what I finished / am currently reading in the month. All right, first. This was a carryover from December. It is The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I gave this a 3 stars. It isn't my favorite holiday book that I've ever read, but I can understand that A, it came out in 2017, B, I'm not the target audience for it anymore, and C, that it was pretty creative for what it wanted to do. And at the end of the day, books are really all about character growth and character development, and I think this book did a fantastic job at that, even if I didn't really like the ending that much. And I don't know if I would fully recommend this because, again, it's not my favorite holiday book, but it was good. Fantasy, Christmas book, 3 stars, very solid. Also, I think a reason why I didn't really like this that much is because I didn't like the romance that much, but I mean, I'm not the target audience for it anymore, so it's whatevs. Next book I read on audio because I've gotten into puzzles this year and it was very much a disappointment. It's If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nolan. I read the first book, If You Had Been With Me, I think that's the name of it, last January, so everything's coming full circle. And my main complaint that I had with this one and why I rated it a 2 was because I just felt like it was very pointless. Like, Finney's point of view, like, everyone thought when this book came out it would just be in Finney's point of view. His point of view ended up being completely useless. It was information that we already knew about. And Autumn's point of view was just, why? We already got a full book of her point of view. We didn't need almost a third of the book being her point of view again. I think what saved this from being a complete 1 star for me, though, was actually Jack's point of view, which I've seen people complain about in their reviews of how they thought, why are you throwing Finney's best friend into this? I never wanted to hear from him. Like, why? For me, I thought that saved this book because I thought it showed grief very well. And I actually was like almost crying in the club. Like, it was very good, his chapters, especially like his, I don't want to spoil it, but he has a conversation with another character that like really hit pretty hard. So this was a 2. It was a slog to get through. I honestly probably shouldn't even picked it up, but my library had it on audiobook and I wanted to listen to something while doing a puzzle. The next book I read is a book I was very excited for. I feel like in my last video I was reading The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I work in an indie bookstore, so we work with book publishing reps, and our rep ended up giving me a copy of Go Luck Yourself. Oh my gosh, this book. See, listen, I love these books so much that I bought myself like a pretty deluxe edition of the first book. Like, I I really wish Owl Crate would do one for Go Luck Yourself. But I really enjoyed this one. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, but I still really enjoyed it. I think the St. Patrick's Day vibe. Listen, St. Patrick's Day is not my favorite holiday, but if a book were to ever make it something that I'm interested in reading about, it's definitely this book. Chris was great. Locke was great. I loved their little rivals to like friends to lovers moment. I just felt like, I don't know, I guess what I really liked about the first book was Cole kind of and Chris dealing with their complicated relationship with their father. And while this was still kind of in here with Chris and his mom, I just felt like those themes weren't as heavy, and I realized, okay, maybe that was a huge thing I liked about the first book, but the romance in here, chef's kiss. The friends vibes, chef's kiss. The character growth and the characters, major all around French kisses. I will say though, this on the back, it says it has a heat level 3 out of 5. Listen, I do get that rating because it was only like 2 chapters, but for those 2 chapters, I was reading some intense spice that I was not expecting, because the first book, the spice was like it was like red, white, and royal blue levels of spice. Like, it wasn't that bad. But when I got to the spice in this book, I was like, okay, we're going that far. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining, but I honestly am going to be very sad if this is the last book in this little world, because Iris deserves a book. Anyways, 4 out of 5. Love, love, love. Cannot get enough of those characters. The next book, which I did start a reading vlog for, and then I got sick halfway through, clearly, was Beg, Borrow, Steal. Let's try that again. Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. This is the 3rd book in the When in Rome series, and I was very excited for this when it came out. Although I was so mad, I remember, at the 2nd book that it was not Maddie and James's book. I was like, okay, listen, I love Emily, but like, we were heading in the Maddie and James territory, but whatevs. Anyway, I gave this a 4 out of 5. I've given everything in this series a 4 out of 5 because I love the small town vibes. I think that Sarah does a very good job at showing Kentucky and how much we think that our neighbors are like our family. I think the southern vibes in these books are always just pretty great. And of course, I love how they are both teachers. I love how they go from, again, another rivals to kind of lovers book. And I don't know, I took my time while reading this. It's only, how long is this? It's only like 361 pages, but it took me like a week and a half. I didn't know if I was falling into a reading slump or not, but I feel like I've just been enjoying reading. Like, I haven't been wanting to speed through a book just to get through it. Like, I have been taking my time, sitting down, taking a moment, just reading and enjoying it, which that's all I can really ever ask for. Anyway, 4 out of 5, very much enjoying it. Oh, not enjoying it, enjoyed it. Flu brain. All right, the last book for January that I am still in the middle of is Iron Flame. I started Iron Flame, and then that's when I got the flu, and I got to like page 82. But I'm happy to report I'm on page 202, chapter 21. So this will definitely be a carry over for February, because I really want to finish it. And then I really wish the cards would let me read Onyx Storm, because Onyx Storm came out like a couple weeks ago, and then I realized I haven't even read Iron Flame, so I am reading Iron Flame right now. But thoughts overall, I think it right now is between a 3 to 4. Like, it's slow. I've seen people say that Iron Flame is slow, and I'm seeing that, but I am enjoying some moments very much in this book. All I'm gonna say without spoilers, Varish, you're messing with the wrong one. But, and chapter 20 made my heart very much happy. But, this will be a carryover for February, so I guess this is where we can start our little roulette cards. Okay, when I opened these, I broke the box, so I feel like I always do that, though. Like, I'm just a disaster. But anyway, we're gonna get these out. I looked at them once, but I really didn't, like, flip through what the prompts were, so this is gonna be a surprise as much as it is for you. This is kind of what they look like. They kind of got like a pretty little thing on the back, and they're kind of pretty. So we are going to, I'm gonna pick 7, but here's the deal. I don't think I'm going to read 7 books in February. Because I'm such a mood reader, I think I want to give myself options. If I have options, it's much better for me. So, I will say, these are very good cardstock. Alright, first one. We're just going to pick the middle. Choose a motivational book to read. What do you mean, motivational book to read? Like, it'll motivate me to keep on reading. So for me, a motivational book to read is kind of a smaller book. Yeah, because usually when I'm motivated, I like to read smaller books, so they make me want to read the big books. So I'm the kind of person who, I get the smaller task done before a bigger task, so I get all my smaller tasks done, so I feel like I have more work to do. Like, I did more work than I probably did. So motivational book to read, I guess I'm going to pick a small book for that. And for that, we're going to go with Dating and Dragons. Yes. I almost called it, what is the first one called? Dungeons and Drama. Anyway, I'm going to go with this one. It is already on my, like, TBR, but it's very short. It's a YA, and it is only 311 pages. So, short read, and it fits the prompt because it'll motivate me to keep going. So, I guess we're gonna go with that for this one. I'm gonna put the card in here so I remember what I picked at the end of the video. I probably did that prompt way wrong, but for me, that's kind of what I thought it meant. Okay, the longer I talk, the more my cough gets bad. So, we're gonna go with the next one. I'm gonna pick from the middle again. Choose a thriller to read. Ooh, that could be very interesting. Problem is, a lot of my thrillers are downstairs on my downstairs bookshelf, but I do have The Inmate by Frida McFarlane up here. Okay, so here are my books downstairs. I have 2 bookshelves down here, but most of my thrillers that I have not read are up here. And, I was gonna say, I just finished First Light Winds not too long ago. I've read A Flicker in the Dark, Things We Do in the Dark. I've read Daisy Darker. A lot of these have dark in the title. I've read First Light Winds. So I think our only options are Listen for the Lie, The Golden Couple, and All the Dangerous Things. And I think I'm going to go with All the Dangerous Things because I really enjoyed A Flicker in the Dark when I read it. So we're going to go with this one. All right, I'm sorry if you hear the dog barking in the background. It's the neighbor's dog. But we are going to go with All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. And I'm going to put this in here just so I know it's in there. Very blue themes so far. So we're going to pick another one. Also, I don't know if that book is actually horror or not. I kind of consider, a thriller. I kind of consider horror, thriller, mystery, whatever, spooky vibe, the same thing. So we're going to pick another one. And this time, I think I'm going to pick off the top. Read a book that inspired a TV show. Oh no. Do I even have one of those? Fourth Wing's gonna get a show, right? I don't know if I have any that inspired a show. Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. It's literally right behind me. We have Daisy Jones and the Six. Ignore how it is damaged pretty bad at the top. I had it in my bag and it didn't go well. But read a book that inspired a TV show. There is a TV show for Daisy Jones and the Six now. And I have been meaning to read Daisy Jones and the Six for a very long time. And I just have not yet. I started it, but then I didn't finish it because I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time, which, A-okay with that. But I guess we're reading Daisy Jones and the Six finally. And I think it's good about these roulette cards is they kind of forced me to pick up books that I kind of just didn't have on my radar. Because while I did have Dating and Dragons on my radar, these other two have been on my TBR for quite some time. So we picked 3. I wanted to pick 7. And I'm reading Iron Flame. I'm not going to be reading all of these, by the way, in the month of February, but we're going to try. Man, I want more romances. February is the month for romance. I want to read Daydream pretty bad, I'm not going to lie, because I haven't read it yet. Choose an enemies to lovers book. You know what? We're just going to choose this one. Well, we're just going to choose this one because, 1, it's a carryover, and 2, it is enemies to lovers. Plus, it gives me one less book to read when I have to get through Iron Flame. Oh, you know what? You know what I could do instead? I could pick Onyx Storm. Yep, we're going to pick Onyx Storm, just so I know I will read it after Iron Flame, because it's getting ridiculous that I have still not read Iron Flame, and I have not read this yet. So, yes, we have both of these for February. Okay, that kind of worked out in my favor. So, let me just stack all these so I know what I'm doing. All right, how many books we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. So I'm going to pick 3 more. How about that? We're going to pick 3 more. All right, and we're going to pick from the bottom. Choose a mystery to read. Wow, why does it keep on wanting me to read mysteries and like thrillers? Like, why? Oh my god. You know what? Stop. So, if you do not know, None Shall Sleep is one of my favorite, like, books of 2023 that has kind of carried over into being one of my favorite books of all time. And also, Some Shall Break. And you know what comes out? You know what comes out at the beginning of February? The 3rd book in the series. And I wanted to do a reread. I don't know if I'm going to get to do a reread, though. I'm not going to lie. Me just drops the whole February TBR just to do a reread. But I'm going to hold this card off for the final book in that trilogy because I am so excited to see where the story goes, and it's already going to be on the February TBR. So I do not have that book currently because it is still the end of January, but I know exactly when I'm going to read for it, and that will probably get read in February. So, oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so excited. Oh, and if you're wondering what that book is called, it's called All Shall Mourn, the last book. So, None Shall Sleep, Some Shall Break, All Should Mourn. So, that's what we're going to pick for that one. I'm so stoked. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to pick 1 more, just to be on the safe side. I love how I just keep on changing the number. Maybe I'll pick 2, who knows. All right, we're going to pull from the middle again. Choose a book with a couple on the cover. Oh, yep, it's happening. Daydream by Miss Hannah Grace. We're going to read that one because 1, it has been on my TBR since it came out, and 2, I've just been staring at it a whole lot more. I enjoyed Icebreaker. I liked Wildfire, but I feel like this one, even though I've seen some like sketchy reviews, is gonna be my favorite because I love ooey gooey, mushy, gushy romances, and the main character seems to be like me almost to a T. So Oh my gosh, I'm so happy from this. Okay, we're gonna go over what we picked. First, we are carrying over from January Iron Flame. Hopefully, I will finish this soon because it's pretty good so far. But Iron Flame, and then we picked Dating and Dragons, and this prompt was for choose a motivational read because short reads always motivate me. So I'm very excited to read this. Yeah, and it's romance heavy February, so I love that. And then the next one we picked was All the Dangerous Things, and the prompt was to choose a thriller to read. And I enjoyed Stacey's other book that I read, so I hear this is her debut, so I'm very excited. Also, it's kind of shorter too. I might find the audiobook for this one. And then I think this one was next. Yeah, we chose Daisy Jones and the Six for the prompt. Read a book that inspired a TV show. So I love Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I just haven't read anything else by Taylor, so maybe February is the time to read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. And then, of course, holding myself accountable with finishing series, we have Onyx Storm for Choose an Enemies to Lovers book. So we are going to be finishing this series from what's already published. So I'm excited for that. I'm sorry, the dog will just not stop barking in the background, and I've waited for a while. But we have chosen, for Choose a Mystery Read, we've chosen All Shall Mourn by Eli Marney. That comes out in February, so I'm very excited. And then we have chosen for a Choose a Book with a couple on the cover, we have chosen Daydream by Hannah Grace. I also didn't get to show you, I do have an advanced reader's copy of this, which is really nice. I really do like it. I just never got around to reading it, unfortunately, but I still own it. Yes, very excited for Daydream. And I'm actually very excited for this TBR. All right. All right, here is the TBR for February. I really don't think I'm going to read all of these, to be honest, but we at least have options that I'm excited for. Some books that'll take me out of my comfort zone, and books that will keep me busy, that's for sure. All right, that wraps up our little reader roulette game, and that also wraps up January. I cannot believe the first month has already flown by for 2025, but here we are. Anyway, I gotta go because the dog will not stop barking in the background, and I know it can get kind of annoying listening to it. Watch when I'm editing this that you can't even hear it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!